And welcome everyone. Thank you to everyone on YouTube for joining in again today on another Ginette Biro Podcast. I have some great stuff to share with you guys. So truly, I'm just going to jump right into it, start the podcast, and we can get to some great messages. So here we go. And welcome everyone to the Ginette Biro Podcast. I'm Ginette Biro, and I want to thank you guys on the podcast for joining in and listening, and also to everyone on YouTube. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch and listen to these messages. And that gratitude honestly extends far beyond me. I'm so grateful that you guys take the time to listen, but also the different guides that come through, the guides of the light, the different archangels, my personal guides, all the different people that have been through, they're people to me. The different guides that have been through have a deep gratitude for all of you that are listening and taking in the messages and finding where they sit with you. There's a big humbled energy of love and abundance and goodness to all of you. So I just want to start with that. Now, let's jump into this message because this came from Sanat Kumara. And again, for those of you if you're just joining, I have been channeling Sanat Kumara more recently, which is great. He's just amazingly so kind. He always comes in with a bowl of mangoes. It's quite funny. And I realized later that that's a symbol of friendship and gratitude. And so I always get this spiritual bowl of mangoes from him when he sits down to talk. Anyways, so as I was running errands this weekend, this is when this message started coming through. And I live, for those of you that don't know, I live on the west coast of Canada in BC, and I was driving through all the forest fire smoke from the States. It's so smoky here. I was driving through the smoke and I'm looking around and I'm seeing all the people wearing masks and you know, there's these moths everywhere, these flying white moths, and it's funny because it felt like this moment of like apocalyptic times, right? And I was driving through, and for some reason, but I had this energy that was like, this is as it should be. All is as it should be. Like the energy made sense to me. And I was like, that's peculiar. Like, I'm like, why is it that it feels so right, yet everything on a human level is just, a lot of stuff is hectic and all of that. And then so Sanat Kumara came through and he helped to explain some of it, which is what I really want to share with you guys. So when I sat down and I explained this to him, I said, you know, I was driving and I was feeling this way, and the energy is one thing, but the human logic is another, and they're kind of opposed. And he said that, and I have this all written down here, he said that it was part of Tanke, is what he called it, Tanke, which in Urdu means to unstitch. And he said, this is the time for Mother Earth to take the stitches out and to clean out the infection that has been festering for too long. And I thought that was really interesting because I've never heard that word before. And so then he showed me the images of taking out stitches and cleaning the infected wound. And he said, Mother Earth is opening up many wounds that it is time to clean them out. And cleaning out the infection and disease allows for true healing. It also creates a zip tie effect of permanent healing so that we cannot go backwards. This ensures that we move forward in our ascension. And I thought that was really interesting. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. And so he went on to say that the fires are related to the warnings that I myself, Ginette, had personally received earlier this month from Archangel Gabriel about a catastrophe in the hills near me. And they gave me a day that they were going to start, and it was off by one day by what actually happened. And they said, even fires are an example of reburning a wound to clean it out deeper. A fire allows new growth to emerge. On a human level, we see destruction, and it is awful. There is no denying that. My heart goes out to all of those who have lost their homes and their lives. However, please do remember that I am speaking from a higher level perspective here, which does not disregard or make light of the human experience. And so it was really interesting that he was very purposeful with that, which explained why I was feeling these two different things. Energetically, I'm feeling a purpose, but on a human level, I'm thinking, gosh, this is so sad and so not fair, right? I can't imagine what people are going through. And so he continued to say that we do not have to worry so much about what is ahead because there is much to come. What we need to do is witness it, observe it, and hold our frequency high. Right now, they are working on taking down the darker, lower vibing energies. Some would call these the reptilian energies or the serpentine energies. Again, this is up to you whether you want to listen to that in a very literal sense or you want to take it more metaphorically or symbolically. You can listen to it either way. It's the same message, honestly. For those of you that want to dive down the rabbit hole of different light beings, we will do that in a course. And like I said, I'm building that. So that will answer that one. So if it's too much for you to look at it in a literal sense, look at it as an energetic, symbolic sense because it's, again, he said, same message. So there are positive and negative aspects. So, for example, when I am shown the red serpent energies, that's shown as a negative. When I'm shown the green ones, that's shown as a positive. So they said the red serpentine energies are the ones that cause cracks and fissures, both energetically and physically for us on Earth. They are the ones that are the festering aspects in the wound, and therefore they're being cleaned out. He said Mother Earth is intended to be good, divine, and a beautiful energy. She has a beautiful green serpentine energy akin to Kundalini energy throughout the planet. And this is true if you guys think about it. Many of you know about Kundalini energy, the serpent energy that rises up the spine and activates all chakras and gives us connection to a higher frequency, higher ascension. That would be in relation to the green serpentine energy. But however, as this wound cleaning happens, it's going to create some chaos in the coming months on our planet with a great purpose for awakening and ascension, as we have been told all along. He said the divine energy has been warped in many ways and infected by the red serpentine energy. So the cosmic beings, along with Mother Earth, are cleaning out the earth frequencies of that red serpentine energy so that it can be more free-flowing in our divine energies. What is happening is a good thing, and all of what may come is to heal the earth. So this is most definitely not to be feared, but simply acknowledged because, as always, knowledge gives us the ability to choose consciously what our next steps will be. So he said, he showed me an imagery of kind of like, if you have mold in your walls on your house, you're not just going to like cut out those teeny aspects of mold. You're going to cut out more than, you're going to create a bit more damage and destruction to really ensure you clean it out and then rebuild it. Right? And then the second imagery he gave me is like, sometimes people will break a bone, but doctors have to go in and re-break it to then have it set better than a poorly set bone that will have, cause limping or whatnot for the rest of your life. And so there was purpose behind this. And he said, again, this has to be taken in from a higher consciousness level. If we listen with only third dimensional ears, this just sounds unfair, because the question is, why would people suffer? But when we talk on a consciousness level, then we're talking souls that are agreeing to have an experience, not the human consciousness, the soul consciousness, to bring about a change, which is kind of what we talked about in the last podcast. So then he continued, he reminded me of the teachings of the Hindu god Trinity of Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the balancer, and Shiva, the destroyer. And the idea with Brahma is that he said that you are a creator. So remember, your role is not destruction. So really, my role is not to tell, not to be one who is protesting, not one that is doing the destroying. That's not mine. Mine is an energy of a creator and of bringing in light, which is why the messages that I will share from the guides that come through me will be of creation of light, with an understanding of what is happening on the lower vibe energies. He said, remember, the three guides of the light had mentioned a few podcasts ago that we all have a role to play. And this is why you can feel peaceful through the smoke and the masks. You know it is the change that is needed on the planet. And that kind of made sense to me. It's not what we would want to see, but it does make sense that things are as they should be in a sense. And again, I'm very careful how I say that. Please hear it from a higher level. Things are as they should be because they are changing. And so he said right now, Sanat Kumara and the energy of Brahma showed me that Shiva, again, the Shiva the destroyer, or the change agent, I really liked that word, is helping Mother Earth, and there is a level of destruction or change ahead to make way for the new. And the whole idea is that Shiva does clear a path for creation to happen. And so we can expect that energies will be heightened in October and November, is what he said. So energies of change, that change agent frequency. So you can apply that however you like. But again, a lot of these changes are going to happen within and on Mother Earth as well, because they had said before that a lot of this is to happen on a cosmic level, a greater level than just human to human. So we may not catch our breath until December-ish. But that is okay, because again, wherever your perspective is what's going to help you manage how you move through this, right? So he said, this is like the waterfall that we spoke of some time ago. More people will awaken and choose to dive over to clean out the hidden corners of fear, hurt, and darkness. We have to face our shadows. That's the only way to change the perspective, is to change what's within. Then much good and balancing can come your way. If you don't choose to do the work, then you will be pushed off the waterfall and you may feel like you're drowning, again metaphorically. But if you let go and stop fighting, then you float to the surface basically, right? You realize you're not drowning. And when you're willing to see what the waters offer, then you can see what you're dealing with and then make a plan and shift it. It's all about accessing understanding. So they're saying, let go and see what the waters are showing you, and you will arrive at the surface clean and clear, which is so very true, so very true. And again, this is a very consistent message, and he said it's about repeating certain aspects so people do hear it. And it's the invitation to go into your heart and discover what your triggers are. What triggers you outwardly is what you need to work on inwardly. What is the fear? And then, what is the issue at the root of the fear? What is it telling you and showing you? If you have any triggering aspects, you can decide, is there anything within my control or is there anything out of my control? And this is something I'll talk more about in the next podcast, I believe. Basically, wherever you have judgment is, something that is triggering you, is because it's a judgment that's within self somehow. So have compassion for others, stay in the higher vibe energy. Judging others is a waste of energy. When it makes sense to you, you can make peace with it. So go inside to find where the sense of it is, so you can make peace with it. You can let go of judgment, and you can move about in these rapidly changing times with a greater peace, because energetically you're aligned with what is occurring. Okay? He said, we are absolutely in unprecedented change and in new waters, but we have so much light of spirit on our side to help us move through. And this I loved. He said, I wish you could see and feel all the light energy that is pouring onto our planet to assist you all in this ascension. And he showed me this great imagery of, before it was like we were all, again, if we look at humanity like a soccer game, right? And we were all the soccer players, and our coaches were like the different ascended masters and guides and creator and angels, whatever all of those light beings, higher beings are, they're all the coaches cheering us on the side. But now what's different, why we have this zip tie effect kind of thing, is because we don't have archangels and angels and guides on our team wearing the uniform, playing in their positions. They're now on the field with us, making the changes happening. And this is a really good thing. So if we keep our thoughts and energies up, then we can harmonize that much faster with these energies, because this is what is different, is they are here, they are denser and more available, like they've been saying, to make these changes happen. And so there really is no going backwards, because the light has stepped in, and they've stepped in to help the planet in ascension to a degree and density that they have not done before. And so the darker energy can throw up issues, but we can't go backwards because it's too late for that. So we are the creator aspect. Our role is to observe the change with peace and to embrace it without ego, without pomp or fear, but especially without fear. We can have a moment of fear, and then we can stop and calm ourselves, figure out what within that fear can we control and what can we not, and then make peace with the aspects we surrender. because we truly begin to create through our very being a future of love, compassion, and peace. And in essence, that's what creates a new earth. It really does. And that's where our control is. So I share this message with you. It really is change right now. The upheaval is making way for creation. So if you guys can hang on to that aspect, then you might not feel like you are drowning, really, or being cornered, or feeling lost and afloat in an endless sea of darkness, because it's not that. If you can rise and raise your vibrations a little bit higher, you can see that higher perspective of the shifting that is happening, the support that we do have of the light. And the more you open your heart to love and compassion for self and others, the more you will start to see this. So I wish you all peace, love, and light as always. Thank you again for joining in. Thank you for receiving this message from Sanat Kumara as well. And for those of you that haven't or have just come to the YouTube channel, please do subscribe, because I will be giving away 2 free readings when I hit the 500 mark. And and if you're listening to the podcast, then please do subscribe to it as well, or leave a comment, preferably a positive one. But again, free will. Anyways, I wish you guys well. I hope you have a wonderful week this week, embracing the change that is, and fill your heart with goodness, however that may be for you. Hope you guys have a good day.